Awesome. Coaches, I'd like to go over tackle technique. Tackling is one of the most technical aspects of the game of rugby, at least in terms of basic skills. It requires the most coaching, the most time to get right. It's the hardest skill to get right, and you're under a ton of pressure when you tackle. I think it's really important as coaches that we have a clear vision for what we're looking for when we're asking kids to tackle. They might not be perfect at it, but we want to really push them to focus on certain details to get it right. So there are three main steps to the tackle, all of which are hugely important. It's footwork, contact, and finish, okay? First one, footwork. There are three main parts to the footwork of a tackle. Closing distance, and then little stutter steps, and then a power step in. So Shunk, can I have you stand back? If I were coming to tackle Shunk, the first thing I have to do is close the distance. And I want to do that fast and just in a run. Just coming up until I'm somewhere in this range. When I get here, that first one was fast. This has to be slow. And I gotta have little choppy steps. In this situation, if I take a big step, it's easy for him to cut, and I have a wide base, and it's hard for me to react. So it's really important as I approach from about 3 meters away to where I'm close enough to take my power step, that I take little choppy steps. If I'm coming at an angle, they'll look kind of skippy. If I'm coming straight on, there'll just be little steps here until I'm close enough to shoot. So fast approach, little slow balance on the balls of my feet, choppy steps, and then the last one is the power step. And this has to be fast and aggressive. A lot of players think that they lead with their shoulder, and sometimes if we're in a bad position, that might be true, but ideally we lead with the lead leg. If I'm tackling with my left shoulder, it's my power step of my left foot that leads me in. So stepping in close, right in between his feet here, that's my power step. And as I take that, I sink into the contact. And now we're ready for the second aspect of the tackle. So once again, first aspect is footwork. A lot of people don't think that's part of the contact of a tackle, and it is. It's super important. Half of the tackles kids miss are because their footwork is wrong and they just can't get to the tackle correctly. So footwork, hugely important. This next part, the contact, is the most technical part of there's a ton of little bits to it that we want to get right. So I'm going to try to run through all of them. Once I've made my power step and I'm entering, first thing I want to emphasize is praying hands. We want our hands in tight here. See a lot of guys coming in kind of with these arms out or grabbing. We don't want any of that. We want elbows in tight, arms in tight here where our shoulders are strong and safe, and we're not making these grabbing, reaching arm tackles where our shoulders are in a vulnerable position for an injury. So hands tight, praying hands. As I step in, I want to sink my hips and my shoulders down into this body position. It can vary a little bit depending on the anatomy of your player, but essentially we want hips ideally below shoulders, a flat neutral spine, and head up as we're coming in. All right, we want to avoid a rounded spine, or kids, sometimes they're stiff and their legs are weak and they want to do this. No good. We got to bend our legs, we got to sink our hips into our hip. All right, contact point, top of the shoulder. A lot of kids will kind of shy away and they'll want to make chest hits. We want to hit with the top of our shoulder, and we want our target area is anywhere between the top of the knee and about the belly button. For most kids, the ideal contact point is the hip pocket or the middle of the thigh. But anywhere in this area, depending on if you're short or if you've got a really tall kid, anywhere in that area is acceptable. So I'm shooting in here, top of the shoulder here, and I want to be nice and tight. Cheek to cheek, nice and tight, eyes up here. Next, for my follow through, my hand should come straight through to the back of the legs right here. A lot of kids have a tendency to come wide around and grab at the waist, and that leaves the legs able to pump. We don't want that. We want the hands to be tight and to shoot right through down here, okay? Once we've gotten here, we're ready for the finish. A lot of kids will kind of quit when they get here, especially if they don't do a power step. They'll end up lunging and grabbing here, and then they won't really be able to finish with strength and power. What we want for our finish is really just two key things. The first one is by far the most important point, and that is leg drive. If I step here and I make it here with my feet under me, I can pump my legs, and I'm gonna have a really dominant tackle where I can drive him back. If I leave my legs behind and I'm not on my feet, I don't have that ability, but we want that. So we step in, keep our feet, so we leg drive, and then the last one is pulling these legs in, especially this outside hand here, yanking this in for the finish. Okay, so I'm gonna make this tackle on you, Shunk. Once again, just to run through the whole thing, I'm going fast up, then small steps, then I shoot in, top of the shoulder, praying hands, I come in here, and then I'm gonna suck in and drive and bring him to ground like that. That's what we're looking for the tackle. And now, we'll get a few tackles from some of these guys. So Gael, come on over here. Shunk, you'll go against. Can we get a ball? Can I get that ball, Max? All right, we'll try for a few demonstrations. Our runner's gonna be moving about 60, 70%. We're just trying for some nice technical tackles from these players when I say go. You guys ready? All right, go. Good. That's a nice technical tackle there. Awesome. Gael, you can take the ball. Shunk, you can take a one off. We'll go Nico against Gael. Good. Go. He's coming up. He's going to try and step. That was pretty good. I'd like to see a little bit more from the lead leg, but that was pretty good. And then one last one from Shunk for Nico. Nice technical tackle. Go ahead. Go. That's a pretty good. Awesome. Okay, so those were all pretty solid tackle examples. That'll be good.